Welcome to a What I Eat in a Day on Weight Watchers with 23 daily points. I am always starting off with coffee and my favorite creamer. Good morning. Welcome back to Am's in Progress. My name's Amber, and we have a What I Eat in a Day. I'm already starting off with some regrets, y'all. I joined that gym. We talked about it last time, but I can log in to sign into classes so that my spot is saved 22 hours in advance. And what I wasn't thinking about when I signed up for the 9:45 Zumba class was time change. So it's really like an 8:45 Zumba class. No bueno. I am not nearly ready enough for this. This is spring break. I should have been sleeping in. I do start work the following week. I did get the job. I work at H-E-B in the produce department. We just recently moved, so I was trying to transfer stores. I was successful at transferring stores. So my first day will be the following Tuesday after our spring break. I'm not hungry at all. I'm also that time of month. So my appetite today is gone. But I know if I go to an hour of Zumba and don't eat, I'm gonna be dying. So I'm gonna eat this giant banana after my second cup of coffee and just pray that it holds all the broken pieces together for the morning. I need to drink this coffee and stuff. I have about 30 minutes before I need to leave for Zumba. I got this. And by the way, I was so sore after doing yoga and Zumba. A+ workouts, so I'm excited about that. After going and shaking my butt off, I came home and it was time for lunch. So I love throwing these carrot sticks in the air fryer to make little carrot fries. Just add some spray and whatever your favorite seasonings are. I love to add onion powder, garlic powder, smoked paprika, salt, and pepper. I pretty much put these on anything and it tastes good. So I do a nice hefty portion. And then if you notice that your seasonings may not be sticking that well, you can always add a little extra spray of your oil. And this kind of helps your seasoning stick better. And then give it a little zhuzh, shaking it up so that all the stuff is coated. And I like to cook these around 380 for about 15 minutes, shaking them twice. That's the golden rule. Meanwhile, I'm going to make a little bit of a tuna salad to put on top of some bread. So I have my delicious tuna here, and I'm going to try to prioritize adding healthier fats to my day. So yes, you could use mayonnaise, but we could also use half of a giant avocado for 2 points instead. So that's what I'm going to do. And I weighed it out. I could have 61 grams for 2 points. So I was just weighing it out, seeing where I was at. So that half of my avocado is 58 grams. I have to save the other half for my husband. But you can see a giant half of an avocado, 2 points. So yes, we can prioritize those healthy fats with our points. To this, I'm going to add the same seasonings I used for my carrot fries because that's obviously seasonings I like. Smoked paprika, garlic powder, onion powder. Giant portions of these because I'm not the biggest fan of tuna. I love how quick and easy it is, but I don't like fish that much. So the more the seasoning, the better. I love cutting up an onion at the beginning of the week and just taking out of this little container throughout the week. It makes it so easy. And I'm also going to add about a teaspoon of mustard. Now you could add celery to this. You could add whatever the heck you want to your tuna salad. This is just how I decided to make it today. And I will continue to make it this way because I was pretty shook at how delicious this was. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to smush it all together. And I'm going to add a couple tablespoons of these sliced jalapenos. These are not very spicy. I'm kind of a wuss when it comes to jalapenos. But these, for some reason, just seem very tame. But I loved the pickly brine that it gave to the tuna. It just brightened it up a little bit. I love that. And a little heat I'm okay with. So about 2 tablespoons I went in and then smashed it together again. Now I'm going to use the Sara Lee 45 calorie bread, and I just toasted it really well so I had a nice sturdy base to make some open face sandwiches like this. That way I can get a lot more protein in there, where if I would made this into a real sandwich, the tuna would be smushing out every bite I took. So let's give a little taste test. I'm not going to lie. This is a true reaction. I was like, that's pretty good. Then I was like, okay, I see you, tuna. All right. And then when you find something that is this simple and honestly budget friendly, that can become your new go-to, you do a celebration dance. That's just the rules. I didn't make them up. Very happy to find a new staple lunch. And this whole lunch is only 4 points. You can't beat it. I'm ready for a snack, but I also want to meal prep my breakfasts for the few days to come. So my sister sent me this recipe. These are some raspberry muffins. For one muffin, it's 2 points. For 2 muffins, it's 4 points. So I'll see how I feel in the mornings to see if I want to do 1 or 2. I'm starting off with 2 cups of just kodiak pancake mix. And to that, I'm gonna add half a cup of monk fruit. I'm using the golden kind just because I like the flavor of that. I'm going to add 6 tablespoons of oats, just oatmeal. I'm gonna give that a little stir. To that, I'm gonna add a cup of water, 2 eggs, wash my hands, and then half a cup of just plain Greek yogurt, the 0 point kind. And then now we're just gonna whisk this together until it's nice and smooth, and we're gonna let it set for about 5 minutes, really letting the water absorb into the flour and all the goodies. I'll see you back in about 5 minutes. All right, it's been sitting for about 5 minutes, and now we have like a super thick batter. So I'm gonna use my handy dandy ice cream scoop to get this into my muffin pan. You can use muffin liners. I just sprayed mine with some coconut oil. Got our muffins loaded up. I have a small container of raspberries here that I washed, and then just depending on the size of the raspberry, I either cut it in half or cut it into quarters. So I'm just gonna drop those on top. Not really sure how many I wanna do. I also have some blueberries if I wanna do some raspberries, some blueberries, some combo. All right, so I have some that are like heavily raspberry. I have some that have a few raspberries. I'm gonna add some blueberries to those as well. And then I'm gonna use some that are just blueberry, just so I can see what I like best for the next time. All right, and then the recipe doesn't call for it, but I cannot help myself. Anytime I make muffins, I'm pretty much obsessed with putting some pumpkin seeds on top, so I'm gonna go grab those. I have the raw green pumpkin seeds. I'm gonna leave a few without because my daughter has requested that I don't put any on hers. Do you want the blueberry ones or the raspberry ones or the mixture?
Raspberry.
You want me to just leave like at least one of each without? Okay. You can have 1 tablespoon for 0 points. So as long as I keep each muffin under half a tablespoon, I'll be good when I eat 2. Just gonna press them in. And then we're gonna bake these on 375 for 17 to 20 minutes. With those muffins, I wanna eat some protein, so I just decided to do turkey sausage. I've already done this lots of times. It'll be linked down below as well as written out. But I use the 99% fat-free turkey, and I add my own seasonings to it to make it like a sausage flavor. In the recipe linked, there's maple syrup and blueberries as well. I'm omitting that just for a regular breakfast sausage. I also like to use the maple blueberry one as well. I just don't have any extra blueberries. I need to go to the grocery store. So I have a whole bunch of different seasonings: red pepper flakes, onion, garlic, sage, thyme, paprika. Again, it's all linked below. We're just gonna mix this together. If it gets really, really sticky, you can wet your hands and it makes it easier. I have my stovetop already like preheating with a skillet. So as soon as I'm done mixing, I can go ahead and go over there and start cooking these up. Yum, they smell really good. I noticed that there was not any salt in the recipe, so I'm just gonna add a little bit of this fancy sea salt on top because salt makes everything better.
Okay.
And also this, like I said, this is a recipe for my sister. And I noticed on the WW app, she calls them raspberry lemon muffins, but there's no lemon to be seen in the recipe. So I'm wondering if she forgot to add, you're supposed to have like zested lemon or something in it, but we're gonna try them the way she sent me the recipe first. We'll go from there. But they smell amazing. They look really pretty and festive. We have our beautiful muffins. And then with that each morning, once these cool off, I'm gonna package them, put them in the fridge, and then I can eat it with some turkey sausage. We're gonna do taste tests of these, but we're gonna let them cool down. And we are not being very patient. We are staring at them and it's not happening fast enough. We've been as patient as we can be. I want to try one of each, a raspberry and a blueberry.
I want to try a raspberry and both.
In a little combo action.
Yeah.
It's probably gonna burn our faces off.
Yay.
I'm gonna cut them open and let them breathe for a sec.
Whoa.
It's nice and fluffy.
Very spongy and I like it.
So again, you can have one, you can have two. I'm gonna have two for a snack.
Is it good?
Mm-hmm.
It's hot. That's good.
Now let's just taste like a pancake and you have like raspberry jam or something on top. So the raspberry is really, really like brightening and it really tastes really good. What do you think?
I like the blueberry better.
Okay. I'm gonna try some with blueberry. I like both. I don't think there's a wrong way to do it. I think I'll really actually like the one that's combo because you'll get the brightness of the raspberries with a little bit more sweetness of the blueberries. That might be the way to go. All right, well, pleasantly surprised. So this is what I'm gonna eat for my snack, 4 points, and have a big old bottle of water because I'm drinking all my water. I'm ready to make dinner, have another Emily Bites recipe. I was on her website, picked several to choose from, and it's just taken me this long to get through them. So I think there's one more you'll see after this, but they have all been good, so that's a good thing. Emily Bites is a great resource if you're looking for like WW friendly foods. It's just lightened up versions of comfort food, so I can't complain about that. Today, she calls this the Bubble Up Swedish Meatball. It's not really anything like Swedish Meatball. Whenever I've had Swedish Meatball, there's been dill and mustard and like sour cream. It doesn't have those flavors. It's really just turkey meatballs that have a onion and mushroom gravy. And if you've ever had a Bubble Up, you know that that means that there's like biscuits that have been cut up and put inside it as well. So that's what we're making today. It sounds very comforting and I'm pretty excited. I do have to make a few adjustments because I bought the stuff for this like 5 days ago and a little gremlin has come and stolen some Parmesan, basically all the Parmesan to make herself mac and cheese. So we're just gonna have to, you know, switch some stuff out. I'll have her website linked down below with the recipe, and I'll also have the WW app linked down below. So let's make these meatballs first because they need to cook while we're prepping the rest of the veggies. So this one's gonna take a little bit of extra time. I'm gonna go turn on my skillet so that it is hot and ready to go when I'm done making meatballs. I also have my oven preheating to 350. So I have 1 pound of the 99% fat-free turkey. To this, we're gonna add breadcrumbs, and I'm supposed to have Parmesan. I'm substituting that for just mozzarella since that's what I seem to have. She doesn't call for any salt, but that seems weird to me, so I'm gonna add a little bit of salt. I have 1 egg and 1 egg white both in here. And then you're supposed to add garlic powder, but we have some smoked garlic that we made a little bit ago and I need to use it up. So I'm just gonna use actual garlic that I've chopped up. It has a delicious smoky flavor. I'm supposed to add parsley in here, like dried parsley. I forgot when we moved that I had thrown it away because it was expired. So I think I'm just gonna throw in a little bit of Italian seasoning. Can't go wrong there. There we go, just a generic Italian, just a little bit. We're gonna want these into 1-inch balls, so I'm gonna use like a little tiny melon scooper thing to make my balls. I'm gonna break up that yolk and then smush. I just washed my hands too. If y'all like to smoke meat on a smoker, I'm telling you, smoke some garlic next time. You cut like the little hair parts off, like the whole top part of it off so that the like cloves are exposed. Put it in a little foil boat with some oil. We use some avocado oil and then just smoke it for like 45 minutes. And it is like a delicious smoky garlic. Ugh. We made a chimichurri sauce with it and it was the best. Now we're gonna move over to the stovetop because I am just going to, as I scoop these out, drop them into our skillet. Okay, well, I thought I was ready. I didn't see this little milk sitting out here. That's 3 tablespoons of skim milk. Dang. I gotta wash my hands again. Nope, I'm gonna keep one hand clean so I can move you back over. To the pan, I have half a tablespoon or 1.5 teaspoons of avocado oil. I'm gonna do this in 2 batches. If you wanna do it all in 1 batch, then you can use the whole tablespoon of avocado oil right now. All right, I'm gonna keep doing this, cooking all of them until we have delicious golden brown little meatballs. While these are cooking, I'm gonna get a 9x13 ready and just spray it with some avocado spray as well, so that as these come out of this skillet, I can drop them into our casserole dish. We have a last teaspoon of our avocado oil warmed up. I have a 8-ounce container of mushrooms that I've chopped and 1 onion that I've chopped. We're gonna cook these for about 5 minutes, just getting them nice and tender. When they have about 1 minute left, I'm gonna add the rest of that smoked garlic. That's just completely optional. It's because I have it and I like garlic, so. Meanwhile, we're gonna make our gravy, which is just a can of the cream of mushroom. It's supposed to be the 99% fat-free. My store was out of it, so I grabbed the Healthy Request. They're pretty similar on calories and macros and stuff. And then a can of beef gravy. It didn't specify a size, so this is the only size my store had. And then when I went to Walmart, they actually had 2 sizes. So hopefully this is the right one. I grabbed the 12-ounce container. So we're gonna mix these 2 together. Simple as that. Gonna go keep stirring my mushrooms. She also calls for like a 7-point-something ounce container of biscuits. I couldn't find that. I found a 6-ounce, so I'm just gonna make that work. So I'm gonna open this up. There's 5 little biscuits in it. I'm gonna cut each one into quarters. Add that garlic in, and it's about to smell like heaven in here. We have our meatballs here. Some of them aren't 100% cooked through, but we're about to bake this for like 40 minutes, so I'm not worried about them not being baked through by the end. I'm gonna top it with our onions and mushrooms. Oh, it smells so good. And then we're gonna add our little gravy mixture. Okay, so then it says toss together. Then we add our biscuits, and then we toss again just to get them all coated in that sauce. It smells really good. So while this is baking, it's gonna bake for 25 minutes before I pull it out and add mozzarella to it. While it's baking, I'm going to air fry some broccoli, and I'm going to make some instant mashed potatoes for my husband and daughter because they're both obsessed with instant mashed potatoes. I'm not gonna eat them, so the less amount of effort I can do for making that, better for me. All right, so now I just wanna make sure I have biscuits kind of scattered throughout. Go turn into a beautiful little golden brown baby. So I have the broccoli cauliflower. This is just frozen. I love making frozen veggies in my air fryer. I feel like if you microwave them or steam them, they're too soft because of all the water content in them from being frozen. So air frying is my favorite way to like draw out that moisture so they taste a little bit more like fresh veggies. This has all the same nutrients you're gonna find in fresh veggies in the produce section. It's just a lot more convenient because it's already cut. It's already a lot cheap. It's also a lot cheaper. So this is just the way I like to make veggies a lot of the times. So in here, I have my cauliflower broccoli. I use whatever kind of spray you like. And then I have the blend. This is the Kinder's. The blend is just salt, pepper, and garlic. This tastes great on everything. Now, my rule for air frying veggies typically is just 380 for about 15 minutes and shake it a couple times and kind of keep your eyes on it. Around 13 minutes, start looking at it. If it's getting too crispy, you can stop it. If it's by 15 minutes, it's not quite where you want it, let it go a little bit longer. The air fryer can be pretty safe to try, even if you don't know what you're doing, as long as you don't burn it. So just keep checking on it if you are unsure. but 380 for 15 minutes, stirring twice, normally is just about right. After that 25 minutes, we pull out our bake here and add our 2% mozzarella cheese, and then we bake it for another 15 minutes. I forgot to spray this with oil spray. If yours doesn't melt very well, a little bit of oil spray on top always helps. You can have a sixth of this for 8 points, and it was very hearty and delicious. This will definitely be going on our recipe roundup that we have once a month or so. It really does take a little bit of time with cooking the meatballs first, but I think those meatballs would be good for lots of different things, even spaghetti. They had a really great flavor. So I'm interested to try this with other ways as well. But you can't go wrong with biscuits and gravy. But I'm a Texas girl, so I might be biased. So dinner was definitely a win. It was very savory. It was a very comforting meal. So if you're in the mood for some comfort food, I would definitely suggest trying that. For dessert, I am going to have some kombucha. I like to have kombucha in a wine glass. It just makes me feel like I'm having a cocktail or something. Just feels a little fancier, tastes a little better when it's in a wine glass. I mean, not really, but it feels like it does. Yes, I love this one. This one is from H-E-B. This is the blueberry ginger kombucha. So I could have this entire bottle for 3 points. I'm gonna see how I feel after this one glass. The one glass is 2 points. If I want more, I'll have more. If not, I'll just stop at 2 points. Right now, I just have the 2 points loaded up. So I have 3 extra points for today. I've only used 20 points. I'm gonna let those roll over for tomorrow. This is spring break. My mom's coming down. We're also going to see my sister. There's gonna be eating out. And if I can collect as many points for later in the week, the better I will be. I'm just gonna enjoy this and I will see y'all later. Bye.